right now. So really for a year now, we've been hearing about the entire situation regarding the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. And there's already been a year of cross-river shelling and claims that one side or the other has been trying to conduct false flag attacks to destroy the power plant. But the situation never really reached a crisis where the plant was actually targeted and exploded. The Ukrainians certainly have launched certain M777 shells, using M777s, firing shells in the direction of an air radar. And they've also sent kamikaze drones in this direction, but it's never been enough to cause any sort of catastrophic explosion in the power plant. But recently, we've been hearing more and more rhetoric surrounding this power plant. And we heard actually from Zelensky this weekend that he said there's a very serious threat of an explosion there. And he said that Russia is ready to provoke an explosion at the plant. And he says that he's talking to other countries that he's allied with about putting political pressure on Russia in order to prevent them from engaging in such an attempt. And so that's sort of a shift because we didn't hear much about the power plant for really months now, and now we're starting to hear about it again, especially after the explosion at the Kakhovka Dam, which lowered the water levels of the entire reservoir, the Kakhovka reservoir over here, which could potentially threaten the cooling levels. It's not really reached any sort of tipping point or any sort of major crisis just yet, but I will go into more detail about all of that in a future video. But anyway, in terms of the political crisis, we actually have news from last week that the Ukrainian State Emergency Service conducted radioactive safety drills in the region of Zaporizhia that they have under their control. And in addition, previously, Ukrainian intelligence officials said that Russia would blow up the artificial pond that is needed for cooling the nuclear reactors at the power plant. And so that artificial pool is over here. From the satellite imagery that I've seen after the explosion of the dam, it seems like the water levels here are not really affected, despite the surrounding regions having a huge decrease in their water levels. And so, in terms of the cooling, that's fine for the moment. But nonetheless, there is a big fear from the Ukrainian side. I'm seeing that the area would be mined and that it could cause some sort of either explosion on accident or that it would be intentional by the Russians and sort of a false flag attack to blame the Ukrainians. But we have reports from the International Atomic Energy Agency, which has been permitted by the Russians to inspect parts of the power plant, including parts of the pond, and they have said that there is no indication of mining in those areas that they've been allowed to see. Although restricted areas, who knows what's going on in there. There may be safety reasons for Russia does not want to show those areas, but that still leaves the door open for questioning. And I also want to give the Russian perspective.